do now?
I would do two things. The first thing I would say is, look, what we do in this country has a negligible effect on the amount of carbon dioxide concentrations in the atmosphere. We account in this country now for less than 2% of global emissions. Our total emissions are less than the increase in Chinese emissions in a single year.
But that's no reason to do nothing, is it?
Which is, of course, because what it is that the only way this policy makes sense is in the context of a global agreement. If all the major nations in the world are cutting back, otherwise it makes no sense. So the first thing I would do would be to amend the Climate Change Act to say it will be in suspense. We will suspend it until such time as there's a global agreement. And then I would go back to the sort of energy policy we had when I was Secretary of State for Energy in the early 1980s, which served this country, I have to say, very well indeed, and was one of the reasons why we had a successful economy.
Shouldn't we take a lead? Wouldn't that be, the critics would say to you, but we're supposed to be better than that. We're supposed to set the lead and create the change that other countries...
Well, there's no point in setting a lead unless other people follow. And you remember from your history the charge of the Light Brigade. That was setting a lead, but it wasn't a very sensible thing to do. There is no point in setting a lead unless other people are following, and other people are not going to follow. That's why there hasn't been a global agreement. Chinese have made clear they're not going to. India has made it clear it's not going to, and a number of other countries, but China and India are probably the two most important. They want to keep this development going, and that means using the cheapest available source of energy. That's how you get economic development, that's how you get people out of poverty, that's how you prevent the destitution and malnutrition that still exists among hundreds of millions of people, unfortunately. And indeed, I think it is morally repugnant of the West to try and persuade them to go from cheaper energy to more expensive energy and inhibit the economic development which can transform the lives of their people in their very large numbers.